Hey everybody, welcome to Shadow and Lightwork. Welcome to spring. Welcome to happy birthday ARIES out there. It is Aries season, of course. Cardinal fire, spring. And I'm in a mood to celebrate. So let's celebrate spring with a pick a card reading. We have three piles of cards and 3 decks that I'll be working with this time. So we have the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. We have Brian and Wendy Frood, Heart of the Fairy Oracle, so 2 Oracle decks, and 1 tarot deck, the Brady Tarot by Emmy Brady. So I'll take these out of the way so that you can focus on the 3 stacks of cards. So we have the first stack is Celestine, the second is Citrine, and the third is Amethyst. So pick one, and this is the message. This is just a message for spring. So spring is all about fresh starts, new beginnings, first impressions. It's about new energy, new growth, new self-image, new confidence. It's all about beginning again, starting that cycle, at least in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it represents fall, which is also a transition point, that liminal space between the fiery energy of summer and that transition, that breakdown into as we head into winter. So it is a huge transition between seasons. It represents a huge transition opportunity for growth in life. It's about planting gardens, planting seeds. Okay, I'll stop there. That's a lot of info. So take a moment. I'll let you take a moment. Celestine, Citrine, and Amethyst. So one more time. Celestine, Citrine, Amethyst. Okay. I will see you on the other side. All right, welcome back. So if you picked Celestine, and this is actually, I'm just going to let you see it a little bit closer there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Blues. And there's a little shadow in there. There's a little bit of black and crystal. Okay, I could get lost in that. I think I did get lost in that for a moment. This is a big reading. So if you pick Celestine, you got a powerful message here. So we have 2 major arcana cards from the Brady Tarot, Justice and the Moon. They're both in the upright position, and the messages are pretty clear. Come back to those. The other 2 are Lady of the Forest. That's from the Brian and Wendy Frood, Heart of the Fairy Oracle. And essentially, the Lady of the Forest and the Lord of the Forest, her companion, are similar to the Empress and Emperor cards in the tarot deck in their message, which also means that they represent major arcana cards as well. So the Lady of the Forest would represent the Empress. So far, out of the 4 cards, we have 3 that are major arcana. Big energy, big message. Long-term, the major arcana represents a long-term situation. Something that is, the message represents something that's going to last longer than a week or a day or perhaps even a season. So if we're looking at the entirety of spring, this is a message that would persist throughout the season. Okay, and then a leg up, and that is from the Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron-Reid. And that's about assistance. That's about mentorship or someone that is in a position of authority and strength that can assist you, or vice versa. If you're in a position of authority and strength and have the capacity to assist someone else. All right, let's dig a little deeper. So looking at the core of the message, we have Justice and the Moon. The Moon, as well as the Lady of the Forest, You could say also the leg up card as well, because that's a mama bear right there. These 3 cards represent feminine energy. So the moon is about the subconscious. It's about dream time. It's about that watery, emotional energy. It's about intuition. The moon represents nighttime and the things that we don't see in our consciousness. So in this card, we have a good many creatures of the night. We have the owl and 2 possum, and we have 2 coyote. One's howling at the moon, the other's standing watchful. So the moon can represent something that may be real, maybe not. There could be a sense of illusion, but the crawfish is what represents the little bit of that energy that's poking up and making itself known. So the crawfish is bringing the message from the subconscious into recognition, into the out of the water and into the air. So out of the emotion and into the intellect. So the crawfish represents something that you're recognizing within yourself that may or may not be comfortable, that may or may not be very clear. It's going to be more emotional, more dream-related, a little mystical, and probably not a direct message, but a message nonetheless. The Justice card is a rebalancing. Here we have a turkey vulture, which in nature is the creature that comes in for cleanup duty. Turkey vulture helps to transition things from an inanimate state or death or decay and back into life, back into a form of energy that's productive, that the turkey vulture literally is a cleanup crew. They take something that would be harmful and dangerous to us, and they transform it into something that's beneficial for us as well and for themselves. It becomes food and nourishment and energy. So with justice, there's that balance, but there's also a sense of transformation. And I'm going to bring in the Lady of the Forest now and talk about her for a little bit. So she represents, as I mentioned before, the Empress in the major arcana, the eternal feminine. She represents dreams, feelings, intuition. Taking a look at the part of the fairy oracle, says if you are greeted or if you are graced by the presence of the lady, you are being asked to look deeply at the feminine within yourself and the feminine aspects of any relationship you are in. How do you feel? What does the relationship feel like? This can be a relationship with a person, a place, or an idea. Whatever is manifesting itself in your life at this time, back to the crawfish, connect with the emotion that is of what is occurring. So, as I mentioned before, the moon is, the crawfish is coming out of an emotional or subconscious state and emerging into consciousness or the air. And this card is repeating that message. So connect with the emotion of what is occurring. Go back to the source of the relationship, the dream that began it, and think about what is happening right now. Because the Lord of the Forest and the Lady are the big energies. They work on deep levels. When you change on a profound level, those changes can take a long time to manifest in the world. So you may not feel changes in your life immediately, but things will change. And the sense of the change is that there's a rebalancing. It'll be a sense of assistance, so that if you're dealing with something now that is triggering your subconscious or is triggering a fear or sense of self-doubt, if you take a bit of time to recognize what that sensation is, then the Lady of the Forest can help you process that emotion and rebalance that energy in your life. To be able to take something that's been troubling you or hidden under the surface, bring it out into the light, and rebalance it, remix it, transform it into something that's going to assist you down the road. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. But it's a great energy. It's a great message. And it represents a lot of support for you if you're going through that process. Okay, I'm going to close the reading there. And if you enjoyed this reading, please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what spring means for you, what this message means for you, what it represents, or what you'd like to share. Anything you'd like to share. Okay, namaste. Okay, welcome back. So, if you picked Citrine, lovely Citrine, then this message is for you. And as with the Celestine, this is a big message. There's a lot of big, powerful, wonderful energy here. Okay, so let's dive right in. So we have from the Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron Reed, we have new life, which represents birth of new ideas, growth, breath of fresh air. It literally represents spring, no kidding. What an auspicious start of your reading. We also have the gift, which is the second to the last card in the Brandon Wendy Frood Heart of the Fairy Oracle. And the gift represents wisdom, acceptance, recognition, and a true gift entering your life. If we look at the Brady Tarot, the two cards from the Brady Tarot, we have another major arcana card. This is number 8, Strength, which represents inner integrity, fierceness in a sense of not being aggressive or domineering, but fierceness in a sense of being confident, in line with your integrity, able to freely express yourself, your true self, and express what you need, as well as the groundedness of being able to stand your ground, being able to stand up for your ideas and yourself, and having the spiritual support to have your back. So the owls represent the energy of spirit and your environment, literally having your back as you stand up and express your integrity. Okay, and then we have work. So here we have, I need to look that up because I think that's is that a little badger? Let me take a quick look here and see if I can find. Work is the Three of Pentacles. And typically in the Three of Pentacles, it's in the traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck, there's a scene of 3 people standing in a cathedral, and we have that represented here. And they're working together as a team to build the cathedral. So one of the characters is a mason, a stonemason, and the other 2 are architects. So they're working together to create the castle. Okay, so I found it. Here we go. 3 of Roots, which represents the 3 of Pentacles, is work. And yes, that is a little badger. So here we have an American badger digging into the earth, trying to reach a horn there, wrapped in 3 roots. So the horn in this deck represents water, emotion, intuition, and the roots is the groundedness. So I would say, my interpretation would be that the horn is your emotional self, but there might be a little gem of something buried, emotional, intuitive message that's buried a little bit in your subconscious, and the badger here is working hard to release that. So in this deck, for this particular card, the imagery hints at a need, and I'm reading from the Brady Tarot, at a need for further spiritual work. But this dimension does not come after or separate from physical efforts. Both psychic and spiritual developments need a grounding in reality, or they can become fantasies or self-delusion. So work can also represent a project that you're working on for yourself, for others. It can be a real project or a project of self-development with a sense of 3. So body, mind, and spirit, where the 3 are aligned and working together to manifest the project to carry something from idea, concept, which would be the ace, the decision point, or the balance between inner outer worlds, with the 2 of this, and 3, which is providing that project with momentum to carry it forward, literally working on something. But there is the sense of three levels being united, sense of integrity, body, mind, and spirit are aligned. And that also harkens back to the strength card, that when you're aligned with your inner knowing and your sense of confidence, that gives you the power to create the things that you need in your life, to express yourself in a way that's not judgmental or aggressive. It's just powerful. Okay, let's take a look at, I'm going to read a little bit from Colette Baron-Reid's A New Life. So the message is, when spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. This is a beautiful card. Just take a little bit of a closer look here. Blossoms burst from the trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you, new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. And let's end with the gift, because that reinforces this whole message. So, Brian and Randy Frood, I'm just going to read what they have to say about the gift. It's a beautiful message. It is a true gift. And boy, lucky you. Okay, so we think of fairy gifts as perhaps not being what they seem. Sometimes. For example, the 3 wishes you were given are a trick and a burden. The charming prince becomes the demon lover or the frog. Sometimes, however, a gift of fairy is a true gift, given freely and with good intent. And what will this gift be? What it will most likely be is wisdom. The gift of wisdom comes from journeying long within the realm of fairy, within yourself, underground, in the subconscious, looking, listening, and being aware of the energies that surround you. And that message came up earlier this week as well, to be open to the signs of spring, the messages from spirit that are around you. Little messages that come in serendipitous ways. Looking, listening, being aware of the energies that surround you, prepare you for the gift of wisdom. That is what this masked figure holds out to you. I'll show you a little closer view. An egg containing all the wisdom you have acquired throughout your travels in fairy. This is a serious gift. She is not a capricious sprite, but a grave and majestic figure. If you are willing to acknowledge the journey you have taken and the lessons you have learned, then accept her gift, freely given and richly deserved. If you draw the gift card, you may wonder what significance it holds for you, especially if you are just beginning your journey into the realm of fairy. Don't worry. Think of all the steps you have already taken to get you to the space that you are right now. Right here. You are already wiser and more learned than you can imagine. Take that wisdom from her, receive it gratefully, and carry it with you as you travel on, as you get back to work. All right, I'm going to close the reading there. This is a wonderful message, an enthusiastic, bright, balanced, strong, creative message for you. All right. Congratulations. Namaste. All right, welcome back. So if you chose Amethyst, then this message is for you. And it's a bit of a message about the overall sense of energy here is that It might be time to take a step back, to withdraw, to refocus, and to get back in tune with the balance of energy that's around you. Okay, I'm going to jump right in. Okay, so we have from the Brian and Wendy Frood Heart of the Fairy Oracle, the Crone, which has a dual message, depending on how you look at the situation. So the Crone is about looking again, or looking with fresh eyes, or looking at something with a new perspective. We'll come back to her. The Son of Arrows is in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it would be the Prince of Swords. So in the upright position, the Prince of Swords represents intellect, charging forward with an idea. It's a bit of a novice. The Prince is a bit of a novice and can sometimes trip himself up if he gets too ahead of himself. And I think that that's the message that the Son of Arrows is providing in this situation. So we have the fox digging in the snow for a little tasty critter for food, but he really can't see where he's going. He has to rely on other senses, and he may or may not find the right spot, and depending if he's strategic in his digging, he could be wasting energy, or he could find a great dinner. But at this point, since he's on the surface and can't see below, he doesn't know. We don't know whether the energy is fruitful or wasted. Then we have the Four of Swords. And again, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this would represent peace, taking a respite. Here it's withdrawal, extracting yourself from a situation with the goal of getting a higher perspective, to disengage from whatever is happening mentally and think before acting. So in the traditional Rider-Waite, you would see it would be an image of a soldier laying on a stone bench, hands on his chest, crossed over, and eyes closed. There would be three swords hanging on the wall behind him. Let me see that reflected here, the three swords, and one laying next to him. And the Four of Swords, as with the arrows, represents intellectual plane. So this is about thought. It's not necessarily about emotion or ambition or material aspects of life. This is about what you're thinking, how you're planning or not planning. Are your thoughts organized and effective, or are they scattered and are you wasting energy? The Four of Swords represents a time to rest and reflect on the situation that you're in. And I think that's the overall theme of this message, is to rest, reflect, take a bit of time to shift your perspective, because you might be missing something that you really need to see. And that's coming back to the Fates. So with the Fates, this is a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And that's a lovely card. And it does speak to fated energy. Okay, so I'll read a bit from the guidebook. So the essential meaning is fates, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. So we're back to self-awareness or just general awareness. So the oracle message is similar to the Serenity prayer, if you've heard that one. The prayer that goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the wisdom that's contained in the Serenity prayer and in the Fates card. So this card also cautions that your experiences concerning prosperity and abundance are beyond your personal control right now. You are being invited to accept what is unreservedly And this could be a temporary situation seemingly thrust upon you by outside forces. But there is an underlying purpose you can't see, as with this card right here. He literally can't see what's right in front of him. But there is an underlying purpose you can't see that has been determined by the fates. It could be a situation you are unprepared for, and you may not understand how it would benefit you in the moment or in the long run. Do not fight the situation. Ride it out and see where it leads. Surrender to it. And the withdrawal card does have that aspect of serenity or surrender to attain peace of mind. Surrender to it, and the serenity you need to make good choices from here on out will be given to you. You will indeed flourish. Okay, and the last card. This is from the Brian and Wendy Frood Heart of the Fairy Oracle. And this is an interesting card. It's about illusion. There is an aspect of illusion and wisdom, again, with the crone. So it says, look again, wise woman, direction. The crone, scary, isn't she? She's the wicked witch of the fairy tales, the one who eats children and curses princesses. A monster? Sometimes. Now look at the rest of the picture. There's a pearl of wisdom, and it's easy to spot. But turn the card upside down, and now what do you see? A sweet smiling face? The same face? What else is she? She is a wise woman, a healer, and a teacher. So when you meet the crone, be aware of those two faces and look beyond the frightening one. Listen to what she has to tell you. She knows about life and she knows about love. She knows how treacherous they can be, and she also knows how to put you back on the right path when you are wandering, lost in the dark forest of a relationship or an experience. She is the part of that darkness, but she is also a beacon of light, that pearl of wisdom. All you have to do is be brave enough to greet her politely, help her if she asks for help, then listen to her advice. If you are careful, if you show enough respect, she may even give you her pearl of wisdom and not turn you into a toad. Into a toad. I almost said something else. That would be equally as bad. Turn you into a toad. Okay, so there's a little bit of a cautionary message there, but it's absolutely something you have within your control to be able to slow down and reassess and make decisions based from a balanced, serene, thoughtful state of mind, and not just digging wildly to get into or out of a situation. All right, well, happy spring, namaste, and the best to you.